On today's show,
Steph, Russ, KD, Clay, and Dre, we preview and predict tonight's star-studded Western Conference Finals matchup.
cannot wait. Unfortunately, with only 4 teams remaining, we must bury the Miami Heat.
And we predict tomorrow night's NBA Draft Lottery winner.
It's Monday, May 16th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to the starters. Shout out to everyone either listening to the podcast or joining us live on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube. We're happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
25% of the NBA's Final Four teams is foreign. Isn't anything American anymore?
Crazy. To his right, it's the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily.
Lily, and last, certainly not least, over there, starters blog editor, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Oh, TK, what do you got for us this Monday?
Guys, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And as you know, the San Antonio Spurs were eliminated from the playoffs last week, but that doesn't mean they can't have fun during their off season, which is exactly what they did this past weekend, as we found out on Boris Diaw's Instagram. That's 19 men in full costume celebrating a, quote, an historical season, according to Bobo. Now, there's so much going on in this picture. I want to show you guys my 5 favorite costumes from the Spurs. We're going to start with the scariest of the bunch, this evil jester. Not entirely sure who it is, but I have a feeling it's probably Kyle Anderson. Very scary, but it's Spurs colors, so I'm okay with it. Coming in at number 4 is Buzz Lightyear. You ask why Buzz Lightyear, a guy we don't actually know? I think this is Manu Ginobili's costume.
Oh.
Why would one team have 2 Buzz Lightyear costumes? Really makes you think. But coming in at number 3 is hippie Matt Bonner. There's a reason for this, because when Matt Bonner finally retires to live in his tiny house, that's actually what he's gonna look like. Shouting out America. Coming in at number 2, though, is the Minion. Again, this is a mystery man, but if you paint your whole face yellow, I'm in on it. Number 1, of course, though, is Mr. Very Solid Play himself, Manu Ginobili, dressed as a pharaoh, showing more thigh than J.E. Skeets on a weekend jog. This is where you at home come in. The Spurs aren't the only team to recently have been eliminated, so let us know on Twitter, what kind of party should the Miami Heat throw this offseason? Could be a pajama party, a toga party, maybe a white elephant gift exchange. Whatever it is, let us know on Twitter at #TheStarters. We'll plan that party for them a little later.
All right, get those tweets in. We'll actually say goodbye officially, as we do here on the starters, to the Miami Heat a little bit later in the show. And guys, we're going to predict tomorrow night's NBA Draft Lottery winner. We can see the future, and we'll get to that later. But first, guys, we got a Warriors-Thunder Western Conference Finals matchup. It starts tonight, Game 1, 9 p.m. Eastern on TNT. According to the offensive ratings of these teams, this is the highest-powered offensive matchup since the '97 Finals. Wow. Between Jordan's Bulls and Karl Malone's Jazz. So you can see the regular season numbers there. The Warriors going 73-9, not bad. Our predictions? We gave them to you on the drop on Friday, and we're all sticking with what we said. 3 of us, Tass, Lee, and myself, saying Warriors in 6. Trey sees this, hopefully, instant classic here, going 7. It should be tight. It should be great. Let's break it all down, though. We'll do it with a little fill-in-the-blank fun. So first one here, Tass, we'll go to you. Fill in the blank. The Thunder will win this series if... what? Blank.
If Russell Westbrook is a monster. We can get cute talking about the supporting players, but Russ and KD, but primarily Russ, has to be huge. And by huge, he has to repeat his performance from round 2. Right. He was spectacular, not only offensively. Listen, the Thunder are going to score no matter what. They proved that in the 3 games they played against Golden State this year, but defensively, Russ can't gamble. He's got to be locked in. I think he was so locked in. After Game 1, Russ was perfect. I think that was the best thing to happen to the OKC Thunder, was to get spanked in Game 1. Russ totally locked in, and when he leaves the floor, that team does not play offense very well. Same can't be said for KD when he goes to the bench, because when Russ is out there and KD sits, they're actually fine. Watch for Russ when he goes to the bench. If that score starts ticking into the Warriors' direction, I think if I'm Billy Donovan, I don't sit him much at all this series. You got to play him a ton. He's the key. Just be your best Russ, which he was. Locked in, setting up the offense, score when you want. I'm not even worried that he didn't shoot the ball all that well in the 3 games against Golden State,
right.
Although I do take a lot from that series. I think this version of Russ is the best we've ever seen. He's got to continue to be that.
Always strike that balance between looking for his own shot and setting up guys. Always tough with Russ, and he always gets criticized almost no matter what he does.
And the defense, because I think when he goes and tries to be a little too much on the offensive end, he gets a little too amped up. You can't get in a PG duel here with Steph Curry. It's not going to work. You got to be back because, again, the Warriors can score a ton, and especially if you're moving a little bit too far one direction, one way or the other, they're going to score even more.
He just has to be disciplined at both ends of the floor because he can't be loose. He's played against the Spurs where they had, say, Tony Parker, not as quick as he used to be, and against the Mavs in that first round when it was Deron Williams. Now he's going to get punished if he is loose in transition defense. We know how the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Warriors play. They get out and they go to the three-point line straight away. Russ has to make sure he picks up a guy. We've seen him sometimes admiring his own shot, occasionally not getting back. Can't afford to do that this series.
What do you think about the bigs in this series? We saw Enes Kanter and Steven Adams honestly have their way with the Spurs, and Pop and the Spurs never really figured out a way how to handle those giants. You'd imagine Billy Donovan's at least going to try that again against the Warriors, but of course we know the Warriors got that super death small lineup that kills everyone. That's going to be interesting to me. Who wins that advantage? Who do you think?
Yeah, well, I think Adams has a pretty good athletic advantage. If Andrew Bogut doesn't play tonight, he has to do what he's done, and that's by finishing strong and rolling on those picks and just going and hammering the ball. And Enes Kanter, we've talked about a lot. He's a gifted offensive player, and he knows how to rebound the ball as well. So it did work well against the Spurs. Will it work so well against the Warriors? We don't know because we know that Warriors lineup of death, when they get out there, you might be able to score some yourself, but can you defend them when they get out in transition and run?
I think this is the Thunder's biggest advantage,
right.
Throwing those bigs
Literally.
out there. Because because Golden State doesn't defensive rebound the ball all that well. They're 12th among the 16 playoff teams. And on the other end, the Thunder really take care of the defensive boards really, really well. Golden State only had 4 offensive rebounds in each of the last 2 matchups when they played during the regular season. So you're not going to see a lot of that grab the offensive rebound, Steph wide open 3. That's just not going to happen a ton. This is their biggest advantage. They got to control the boards, both ends, not just offensively.
I agree with that, but it was one thing against the Spurs when a LaMarcus Aldridge, let's say, or a Tim Duncan or whoever, they're not going to kill you from the three-point line. But, of course, Draymond Green, he's been knocking it down with some consistency. Even if they go sort of super small with Iggy or Barnes as your 4, they can hit the 3. That's what matchup's going to be interesting. But let's flip it around. What about the Warriors? The Warriors, fill in the blank. The Warriors will win this series if what?
If they're the Warriors from the regular season, 73-9, I mean, it's a
Don't
bit of
change
a
much.
Bold.
No, it's a bit of a cliche, but I mean, they don't really have to change anything of their game. We know that they occasionally turn the ball over, but we know they've got so much power offensively. They can go and outscore anybody, and the Thunder can't get into that sort of a rhythm where they're just trying to outshoot and outscore the Warriors. They have to find a way to slow them down. And again, it comes back a lot, I think, to transition defense. The Warriors have that, they're not traditional how they go towards the basket. They actually go towards the three-point line. Clay, Harrison Barnes, Iggy when he's on the floor, and of course, if Steph Curry's got the ball in his hand, you have to pick those guys up. So really the focus is on the Thunder, making sure that they make the adjustments to change and upset the rhythm of the Warriors.
You agree with that?
Yeah, they just got to balance the dealing with all those bigs, right? They just have to handle them at all times. And they just have to stay disciplined on the defensive end as well. I mean, it's a boring answer to say they just have to be themselves, but it is the right answer. They are the best team.
Durant obviously killed them in the regular season matchups, didn't show up for a win by any means, but put up monster numbers against Warriors. That all said, the Warriors have a bunch of guys that they can throw at him to at least try and exhaust him. I mean, you got Andre Iguodala, Harrison Barnes could see time, Sean Livingston, even with his length, could see minutes on him. There are a whole lot of guys. Klay Thompson, of course, he's going to get a whole chunk of time on him, both Westbrook and Durant. You got to just try and exhaust this guy.
Yeah.
And they got the bodies to throw at.
And Andre Iguodala is the real key there.
Sure.
Because during the regular season, when Andre Iguodala defended Durant in those 3 games, his field goal percentage dropped a lot. And also, Oklahoma City's offensive production dropped a lot. So it doesn't just affect what Durant does, it affects what Thunder do.
Yeah, Iggy, when he was on the floor, 50% effective field goal percentage for Durant. Off the floor, he was 69.
Yeah.
Money in the bank. And yeah, they didn't come out with a win. OKC didn't end those 3 games. At the same time, they gave that one away. You know, the best game that we had all year, that Saturday night on ABC, which was a fantastic game. And they were so close. The thing is, you said all the names on the Warriors, all those bodies that they can throw out there. The Thunder can't mess up when they go to their bench because they don't have those same bodies. They have to be in tune. I think Dion Waiters is monstrous in this series because they go Dion Waiters, Kanter, and Randy Foye. And Randy Foye's not the backup point guard. You know, he acts as the backup point guard, but Dion Waiters, to me, is the X factor.
Is that the X factor there?
He is, because if Russ goes to the bench for a couple minutes, the Warriors can blow you up real quick.
We will see. Should be entertaining. Game 1 again tonight of the Western Conference Finals gets underway on TNT. Should be a great series. Can't wait. Got lots more still to come on the show tonight, including the up-down report, and we take another crack at predicting the NBA draft lottery. Come on back. Back with the starters, right into the up-down report, where we figure out where the four of us stand on some recent NBA topics. Ask you to do the same at home on Twitter. Hashtag the starters. Thumbs up, thumbs down. All right, first one, guys. On Monday, today, the Timberwolves center Karl Anthony Towns was named the 2015-16 NBA Rookie of the Year by unanimous vote. Towns is the 5th player in NBA history to win unanimously and the 3rd in the past 6 years. So, a pretty simple question, up or down on Towns winning Rookie of the Year here. Thumbs up.
Yeah,
no brainer.
Down on that.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
And thumbs up on the specs as well.
Yeah, he looked great.
Those roundies, they're nice.
Like those roundies.
He had a great season. Things could get better for him too. He could actually be named All NBA too.
Yeah.
As
It's
the
in
center,
play.
one of the third, maybe the third team. If he gets in.
He was clearly the best rookie because he was one of the best players in the league this year. And like you're saying, he was a top 5 center. So
Yeah.
the fact that he's unanimous because he was good throughout the entire season, right? Like he started hot, stayed hot,
Yeah.
got more responsibility,
Yeah.
more minutes, and stayed good, which is pretty rare for a rookie to do.
He led all rookies in points per game, rebounds per game, double-doubles, and player efficiency rating. And that was at 22, which is unbelievable.
And played
for a rookie.
defense.
And played defense.
Well,
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
We could be talking about him as a guy who changed the center position years from now because he's got the step back at 7 feet, shoot the 3 ball.
Won
He's
the
just
skills
extreme-
challenge.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that forever.
You're absolutely right. Okay, so a no-brainer there. All right, moving on. Maybe this is a little more controversial here. According to this creepy video from the 76ers, they are the first team in any of the 4 major U.S. sports to sell an ad on a jersey. Yes, this is happening. The 76ers announced this morning that ticket company StubHub will have its logo on the team's jerseys beginning in the 2017-18 season. So not next year, the year after that. They got a 3-year trial of this sort of pilot program for these ads. We knew this was happening. Sixers are the first to announce it. Thumbs up or thumbs down on these new 76ers jerseys.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
okay,
Oh.
Lee, the only one down.
Yeah, I guess I just like the tradition of keeping the jersey clean.
You're a purist.
I am,
Yeah.
because every other sport around the world, like in soccer and in cricket and everywhere else, they're covered in ads.
Right.
And I mean, look, for soccer, for example, the front of the jersey is a massive, massive slogan.
Yeah, that's why this
Yeah.
isn't really
Yeah,
that big a deal.
but I
And
feel
it
that
matches the uniforms, and
Yeah.
it's actually a company that people know about.
Yeah.
If you're going to sell an ad on a jersey, this is probably the best first one you could have.
I just feel that this is the start of something a lot bigger. And,
What, they're going to be like NASCAR sort of looking players?
Possibly,
Yeah,
possibly. I don't see why not, because $5 million a year for 3 years is nothing in the NBA, really. So I can see some team coming along and saying, we'll give you $20 million, but we want a big fat.
Lee, in
Splash.
20 years, you have a TJ Maxx tattoo on your neck, man. You'll be a sellout in 20 years.
Yeah, well, I need the money. I've got 10 kids.
Yeah, this doesn't bother you?
Congrats. I say make money, make money. Like, we're so immune to ads.
Yeah.
I don't even notice that thing. I want to gather up the energy to be a traditionalist or a purist, but come on.
It is a good point. They did have ads on the Toronto All-Star jerseys. There was a Kia ad. A lot of people didn't even notice.
Oh, we're so
We're gonna
immune
get an ad
to
on
it.
you.
Don't forget about
I'll
it.
put an ad right there.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, no problem. Okay, yeah. I know some people are like you, though, Lee. They're
Yeah, I just
upset
don't want it
with
to become crazy and out of hand.
Well, you're right. It could possibly happen. All right, moving on here, guys. The Indiana Pacers promoted assistant Nate McMillan to head coach today, ending the search for Frank Vogel's replacement in less than 2 weeks. Larry Bird ain't messing around here, guys. McMillan spent 12 seasons as the head coach in Seattle and Portland, has a overall 478 and 452 record over those 12 years. 14 and 20 in the playoffs, so not a bad record right there. But are you guys thumbs up or thumbs down on Nate McMillan as the Pacers head coach?
I'm good with it.
Yeah, you got a couple ups, couple downs.
Sideways.
and
Classic Ellis
undecided.
sideways.
Yeah.
Why the negatives?
Well, to me, he's not quite what the Pacers were looking for. He's had a lot of success. His teams have been good, and they've actually been able to score pretty well, but they're always slow down teams. And I thought the Pacers were trying to play small ball and move Paul George to the 4, which never happened this year. I would rather see some new blood in there in general, but I mean, it's hard to argue with Nate McMillan. He's got Team USA experience too. He just doesn't necessarily seem like right up the Pacers' alley.
I'm down because of exactly what you're saying. I don't think Nate McMillan is a bad coach by any means, but is anyone really convinced he's going to do with this Pacers roster anything more than Frank Vogel did? Do you think so?
I guess he's
I
going to
got
get
to
some new
see.
players.
He's a new
but-
voice. That's
yeah.
what Bird wanted. But
Is he though?
He's been there. Exactly.
I like the
That's
Yeah,
continuity.
that does, to me, it doesn't seem like it was the most thorough search that Larry. When we had the interview last week, he was like, "Oh, I'm not sure what I'm looking for." And now it seems like Nate McMillan said, "Hey, I'll have the job," and he goes, "Sure, you can have it."
I don't think he's a traditional. No, I mean Nate McMillan sought this out. I don't think he's your traditional retread coach of a guy who's just continuously looking for jobs. He's been an assistant for 3 years.
Yeah.
Hasn't really been looking by himself out for jobs. This is an opportunity for him, and I think he's a guy who has a perspective. You know, he coached
Yeah.
obviously for a long time. He said, "I'm going to do what my roster." What works
Allows
for
him
my
to do,
roster,
yeah.
right? I mean, he's saying all the right things, and I don't think Paul George is a forward. I think we all know that. He's not going to play Paul George at the forward. He doesn't want to play there. I think he's got a bit of perspective. I think he'll be all right.
All right, well, switching gears here a little bit, guys. On Sunday, the Toronto Raptors made their first ever Eastern Conference Finals, topping the Heat 116-89. The Raps destroyed the Heat on the boards. Great games from Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan as well. Here's the thing. We're going to preview and predict the East Finals between the Cavaliers and the Raptors on tomorrow's show.
Raps in 3, baby. Raps
Hey,
in
don't
3.
give it away, man. We need them to tune in. But first, we must properly, as we've been doing here, say goodbye to the 2015-16 Miami Heat. To the cemetery we go once again. It's not far, thankfully. We're in a weird part of town.
And now a few words about the Miami Heat. 14 games it took to eliminate the Heat. 7 games victorious, 7 in defeat. But parting is hard, just like forcing a rhyme. Dwayne Wade called me Taco, once upon a time. We'll see you next season, Dragic, Bosch, and the rookies. Goodbye to Miami. Adios, Ami Ami. And now, to honor the 2015-16 Miami Heat, with 2 minutes of silence. Dos
Minutos! Welcome back to the Starters. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, May 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, it is the NBA Draft Lottery. But why wait then? Till we find out who wins. We can just do it right now, guys.
Why not?
Yeah, we can predict the future. We haven't had much success here on the Starters, though, unfortunately. You might remember 2 years ago, we had our man Lily here. We threw a blindfold on him, threw some darts at a giant board. It took you a while, if I remember correctly.
Well, you didn't give me a pint of beer. That's why I had such a bad shot there.
You eventually hit the Orlando Magic, but the Cavs won the pick that year.
Tough one.
Last year, Trey risked his life bobbing for apples,
Did not remember it being this hard.
ultimately chomping down on a tasty Nuggets.
Look at that little beard there.
I love Nuggets.
But the Wolves won, so we're 0 for 2 here as the starters. That all said, okay? 5 years ago,
Once upon a time.
5 years ago, nearly to the day, we did actually predict the winner of the draft lottery. And all it took was an industrial strength fan, a stand-up shower, and a blindfolded Greek man. Tass,
What a combination.
right there,
I showered once. It's true.
he actually grabbed the Cleveland Cavaliers, and of course they would go on to get that pick the very, very next night. So, let's go
do
back.
it again,
Yeah,
baby.
Exactly. Let's go back to what sort of worked.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have a
blind-
shower bias, but yeah, get the blindfold on him. Oh, yeah, way to use the starters t-shirt.
Oh.
Nice
Great
branding.
branding.
Check the
Available
NBA
store.nba.com/the_starters.
Correct.
So here's a look, guys, at Tuesday's NBA Draft Lottery #1 odds. We're only going for the #1 pick. That's all we care about. Philadelphia, the best chance at the #1 overall pick at 25%, followed by the Lakers around 20%, and the Celtics, that pick coming from the Nets, at 15.6%.
Cool.
It's worth noting that Sacramento or Toronto can actually not receive the #1 overall pick due to trades involving swap rights, but we'll get to that if we get to it. So, we got them in there. We have 1,000 ballots representative of each team's odds to land the #1 pick. They're at Tass's feet right now, but they won't be there for long, because let's fire up
Let's do it.
the money win machine, whatever you call this contraption.
We've got a budget
Take
this
a
year.
good one, Tassie.
Let's get this thing going. Hopefully it's plugged in.
Has it started yet?
No, not yet.
Uh-oh, here it
Takes
comes.
it.
Let's go, Tass. Make it a good one.
Come on, pick a pole. Pick a pole.
How's it feeling there?
It's
my skin.
Take your shirt off. Go.
All right.
All right.
All right, grab one.
Let's go, Cassie. Come on, Dad. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
I've got one.
He's gonna turn the power up. Turn the power up.
Start the machine.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Here we are.
Okay.
I'm going to look at it first.
Very exciting.
The winner of the 2016 NBA Draft Lottery tomorrow will be the Philadelphia 76ers! This one's for you, Sam Hickey!
Trust the process. Trust the process. Pat says the Philadelphia 76ers will win the number one pick
That'd be good.
tomorrow night.
It was worth it,
Keep
Sam.
exfoliating, Tess. It was fun.
Celtics, no. Lakers, no.
Oh, wow. There it is. All right, we got to take a break.
Someone better check on that in there.
Guys, again, tomorrow night, the NBA Draft Lottery, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. When we come back, that thing's loud. Lely's very solid play. Wow, the Sixers.
Huge.
Well done.
Huge.
Hanky.
First StubHub, now this.
Welcome back to the starters. We asked you earlier in the show, what kind of party should the Heat throw this offseason? You guys hit us up on Twitter, and Trey is in the money machine with your best tweets. Trey.
Yeah. Enya says Miami could have a North Pole party with winter coats, snow pants, mitts, toques, and scarves. David says, what kind of off-season party should Miami Heat have? Miami Vice theme. You can invite Lee Ellis if you want. And finally, Nathan says, this Miami Heat could dress up as famous Canadians. Tass, Skeets, Brian Adams, and Bieber. Stare them down. Thanks for tweeting, guys.
Yeah, keep it.
Go Pelicans.
Yeah, hey, no. We already know who won. Lely, very solid playtime. Let's get to it.
Yeah, we're going to Toronto. Obviously, that's the only game that was on Sunday. And even though the Miami Heat are gone, they can sign off with a beautiful little, very solid play. A little 1-2 here from Dwayne Wade and Luol Deng, and then finishes it with a nice little lefty layup. That's how I like it. Here it is again, Wade. Just a little zip, and then Luol rolls to the rim, finishes beautifully. That's what I call a very solid play.
Good stuff, Lely. We got a fan sign, Lee.
Yes, we do. Grant was at the gold medal match for wheelchair basketball at the Invictus Games, UK versus USA in England. So thanks for sending that in, Grant. Great job.
All right, guys. Tonight, Thunder Warriors, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, 9 p.m. start on TNT. Going to be a blast. Following that game, the first of 4 episodes of a new series called The Dunk King. And this is amazing. 32 amateur dunkers competing for a chance to win $100,000.
That's going to be fun. Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, the Brian Colangelo era of the Philadelphia 76ers is getting off to a great start.
Embrace the day, people.